I'm doing good. And Derek, it wouldn't be like an actual session if somebody didn't mispronounce the name again. So it's the HUBZone Contractors National Council. However, because that is confusing and it's super long, we just refer to it as HUBZone Council. So the first stop. So basically, whatever you guys want to call us, HUBZone Council Inc., HUBZone Contractors National Council, we're here for you. So I'm happy to be here and really excited to be talking to you guys about the National HUBZone Conference. Ruined. No, this is how things are made. We don't, it's, we only learn from our mistakes, really. Like when you do things right, it doesn't get ingrained in your brain. But I guarantee you, you're probably never going to mispronounce it again, right? Oh, okay. Well. So basically, the thought process is for the next 10 days, we are going to be dropping little teasers about the National Hub Zone Conference. But you're not going to hear all of those teasers from me because at this year's conference, we're constantly telling the federal government to debundle contracts and allow for new entry and provide companies with opportunities. And I realize it's kind of easier said than done, but this year we implemented our first ever HUBZone Conference Planning Committee. And the Conference Planning Committee is made up of different members at small businesses from our board of directors, each with their unique skill set, of which they're going to be putting a real positive spin on the conference. And the intent is to be able to show how these companies can work together collectively and still embrace their unique individuality and showcase what they can really do. But it's all going to come together at the conference. So I'm super excited about this year's event. I know it's been a lot of moving parts and apologize for anybody that is like, what is Michelle doing over there? The thing is that people talk a lot, but action speaks louder than words. So instead of us just focusing on, hey, pointing a finger and telling others to do better, well, we're going to practice what we preach. And I'm really excited to see how it all comes together. That, or we might just have to put me into a psych ward. But I'm really confident with our team. I think that they are amazing. And these are some of the brightest, most capable people that inspire me each and every day. So I'm very confident that this is going to be the best conference ever. But it's not because of me. It's going to be because of all of us working together. Well, thanks to the genius that is displayed next to me, Derek Barnaby from Barnaby Solutions, who has graciously set up and automated our YouTube video. I know everybody's kind of familiar with YouTube. If you don't know what YouTube is, well, you're probably not going to be watching this anyways. But the HUBZone Council has a dedicated YouTube channel. So we do want everybody to subscribe and just tune in around lunch from 12:30 to 1. And you're going to hear different information from not just about the conference, but why that individual is putting the spin that they are, giving you some history and background about the HUBZone program and what we're doing as an organization in order to optimize and embrace that HUBZone mission.
Well, with it being, I'm back.
Like, did I actually answer that or did I say that wrong? Because maybe we need to be more direct and maybe you should just tell them because you are the genius behind how this works.
So yeah, and I got to wear headphones next time. I muted out my mic there, so we are going to have a few technical difficulties, and I do apologize for that. We will have this is a learning experience, our first one. So, and I will wear headphones so that you aren't as echoey in the future.
Well, I just feel like I'm taking a lesson from T-Pain.
There you go.
So like maybe we're just a little bit of a remix. Yep. It'll be all right. So
to recap, we are going to be. You got to make sure you subscribe to the HUBZone National Council on their
YouTube page.
YouTube page, right? You'll get the notifications that we're going to go live. Make sure you like the videos. It's going to kind of centralize a lot of our information. Not only are we going to be doing these HUBZone and sessions, but we're also going to be starting to put all of our advocacy efforts and really centralizing everything. There's a lot of excitement going about like the media and marketing efforts we're going to do, but nothing more exciting than HUBZone 2024 conference. So I know you're working 19-hour days, right? And things are crazy. Are there any questions that have been kind of a lot of people?
19 hours? How did you get an extra hour last night?
So from everybody that's going to the conference, right? What are some questions that you think you could answer for them right now? What can they expect? How do they check in? Jujima, those kinds of things.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of you guys might be really confused, specifically as it relates to the registration, because it's right around the corner. So for the next couple days, you're going to be getting communications, but I want to let everybody know the central system for record is the Jujima system. That's where you'll receive a communication with your temporary login to admin at Jujima, where you're going to log in and you're going to update your company and your business profile. That's a way for us all to interconnect. There is a dedicated landing page for social feeds. There's ways for you to upload videos, marketing materials, information. And right now we have the communications turned off. That's just because a lot of us are gearing up to having to be out for a whole week. So we're playing a lot of catch up. So I do want to refrain anybody from like just kind of mass emailing people. Just be respectful. Right now, the process, what we're doing is we're doing pre-early matchmaking. So those individuals that registered prior to the last couple of weeks, they're actually going in and able to set their early matchmaking appointments. However, for those that might be stressed out and getting, oh my gosh, no, that means that I'm not going to get any appointments. We actually froze the second half of matchmaking. And the reason why we're doing that is because our witty little partners at Teaming Pro are going to help us with analyzing the information to determine if it makes sense. Like, again, like with a system like Jujima, it is very interactive. And if you put in the information, it'll give suggestions for matchmaking in order to improve the effectiveness. But a system is only as good as the data that you input. Our partners at Teaming Pro is constantly scrubbing and pulling information into their CRM system with past performance and information that's real-time data in order to determine, are these companies a good match? Because we only know what we know, right? So the last half of matchmaking, we're going to be doing some pretty fun ways of trying to determine if this is a better approach. So the first thing we're going to do is have Clash of the Titans. And Clash of the Titans is going to be a kind of an interactive, playful way with our large business partners. And the whole point of it is that sometimes we forget that large businesses are also competing for these opportunities. You know, we think about it as a small business and we're like, oh, it's difficult, but they too have, you know, stockholders, board members, and they have things to report on. So a lot of times when they're building teams that have subcontracting plans, that stuff is constantly always changing. So in order to prep for the matchmaking session at 4 p.m. on the first day, where we still have some openings available for our primes, we're going to let our large businesses take the stage, and we're going to let Mr. Barnaby put his positive spin on it to make it a little bit playful and fun. But we're going to break people down by core industry sectors and treat it like a Jeopardy game, meaning it's like, I will take engineering for 300. And what we're going to do is that our partners at Absolute GIS is going to be mapping out the number of attendees that are participating that align with that core competency, just to give a little bit of suggestion to individuals saying, hey, maybe that's the person that you want to meet with. But the other component is we are also, thanks to our partners at Dell, in the exhibit hall, where we're also going to be having happy hour, guys. Wink, wink. So, and the exhibit hall is where you're also going to be able to pick up open appointments. That is going to take place. We're going to release the updated list of whoever has openings at 2 p.m. on the 23rd. And then we're going to be sending it out to individuals. We encourage people to come and meet with our partners at Teaming Pro in order to get suggestions, because we're trying to figure out and track, is this a more improved process? So we're getting our little Bill Nye the Science Guy hats on in order to figure out if this is a more effective process.
Thank you. I mean, this is a lot of information. So again, another reminder to come to our YouTube. We're going to have a lot of these videos out that are going to go into this, so you can get them at your own place. Watch them at your own pace. But how about like any agenda? Like, can they go to the council website? Where do they go if they want to get all this information?
So thanks to Angela, the team at Barnaby Solutions, we have a very robust website that is keeping information up to date. Now, that's on the HUBZone Council website. So www.hubzonecouncil.org. And if you go to events, and I don't know why you're laughing so hard at me right now. What am I doing? Am I doing bad? What is this issue? Okay. Usually when a man laughs at me profusely, there's something on my face. I don't know. Oh, well, then you guys can all know that he's hysterically laughing at me. So that like makes this even better. Oh, That was a hot look. Thank you. Yeah, but full scope, I really hope that they get that face because it really made the entire session. So, with that said, I did tell Derek when he agreed to do this with me, please do not try to put me on a script because it's not going to happen. I will do my best not to cuss or say anything completely stupid, but we're live and we're just going to let it flow. I'm going to be me. And it's unfiltered, it's uncandid, but it's true. And I feel like that's what I don't want to change. I want people to be able to trust me and that when they come to this conference that they realize that the information they're given is it's not a PR stunt. It's not about what we're trying to sell to you. We're trying to help you.
That conversation we just had, I forgot to unmute my microphone, so nobody understood why I was laughing or anything like that. So we will move on, though. Yeah, just know it was hilarious. Like, imagine things in your head. Very good. All right, so I do want to move on just for a little bit here. So we got all this exciting things. We got all this data. We've got, our partners in Teaming Pro, Absolute GIS helping out. Everybody's thrown in here. One of the things that I think this would be a good segue to is if you could tell us a little bit about the affinity groups.
So, to kind of explain to him what's going on, the conference planning committee is the first time that we've ever had a defined collective of individuals all working together cohesively. And this kind of stemmed from a person that I respect a lot, and that is Kendra Dion from PurposeWorks. She is like our guru in workforce and economic development. You're actually going to be hearing her later on in these pod sessions. So Kendra was always, and oh my goodness, my ADD already kicked in. Like what? I don't even remember what the question was. Oopsie daisies. So I started talking about Kendra.
We're talking about Kendra. We're talking about affinity groups. All right.
So affinity group. So Kendra Dion actually specializes a lot in the workforce and the economic development. She does a lot of education and working groups. And I believe that she's like on every chamber. I'm pretty convinced that most of these people in my direct circle are robots. I don't think they're humans, but pretty amazing people. But Kendra, I'd always talk to her because the way that she's able to work with individuals and create a cohesive structure, because for those that have met me, I don't think I've ever been described as organized or methodical. I'm pretty erratic, but that's where my ideas come from. And the thing is that we don't all have to be the same thing. Is like you find your village of people, these ones that have strengths in different areas, and that's when the magic happens. You can't have somebody that, with competing views. And so I realized that a lot of times when we're doing events and things like that, it's how do you communicate? There were so many people that were willing to help. And, I constantly saw myself struggling. I'm like, sometimes it's even hard to ask for help. But Kendra came out with this beautiful plan about how affinity groups can happen. And so when people want to get involved, because when you're volunteering, you want it to be something that you're passionate about, you care about, and that you're working towards, and that you're educated to support. When it's a struggle, we try to force people to understand things they don't. But that's where the concept is that we are going to be implementing affinity group components, which empower individuals to get more involved within the organization, but creates a defined hierarchy. And because the thing is right now, a lot of people have been saying the HUBZone Council, oh, that's Michelle. No, the HUBZone Council is not Michelle. The HUBZone Council is a collective of our entire network. And it's not fair to even, while I am grateful and humbled that you guys believe that this mission of, pushing the trajectory of the HUBZone program forward is a Michelle thing, but it's not. It's all of us working together. It's SBA, it's the PTACs, it's the government agencies, it's the large businesses, it's the small businesses, it's the economic development authorities, how they all work together. The HUBZone program is built on the multiplier effect. It's that full-fledged ecosystem. And that's what we're going to try to depict at this year's conference, but we're using it based on the model of how Kendra put it in place. Because I realize sometimes it's not easy for people to play nice. Everyone's like, you got to have somebody in charge. Yes, you got to have somebody that creates a framework so that we're all working towards the same goal. But you don't have to have somebody that has superseding control over everything, because you know what? That cripples advancement and growth. This is my personal opinion, is that I feel like I have been able to think more clearly by letting go of things and the ideas that I thought were right. And it's like, listen, look at it differently. I got asked a really cool question. I know I'm going on a rant.
No, I'm gonna cut you off. So we are gonna talk more on the affinity side. So next one up, we're gonna be talking Tech Horizon and the Demo Center.
And that's
I
obviously.
don't think we're going to give them that teaser that early. Are we giving them that early? Well, I guess it is. That's 2 different days. Miss Lily is definitely overseeing.
So
I
you
can't
wanna-
even remember what schedule I did to be see.
You want to keep the excitement going, or just?
Oh, no, we can go through it. I'm just like, full disclosure, guys, if the schedule goes out a different order, that's my fault, not his fault.
All right, so we're going to be starting. We're going to be going 12:30 every day on YouTube. Make sure again, subscribe, like the channel. We're going to be putting a lot of things. You know, we're having a lot of fun here, but the other thing we're also going to be doing is making this more like impactful. We mentioned the advocacy, but we're also going to put up a lot of our education. We've got our micro courses that are going to be coming down the line, and a lot of things. So you do want to make sure we are going to make this YouTube channel very, very active. So we have Tech Horizon and Demo Center. Then we're also going to talk with obviously the most amazing and talented Lily, and we got matchmaking with Tim, Rockstar, right? We have Plan Your Trip. Is that
And
going to
that
be?
is Absolute GIS and Kendra Dion, because the thing is when you come into somebody's community, it's like, how do we support the local small businesses? So at this year's conference, you'll show, like, we are going to put the businesses at the forefront, because that's the true rock stars. So you're going to see, like, if we got something from a local bakery, we're going to give them a shout out, because we want to make sure that, you know, if that was delicious, hey, hit them up before you leave town. We're also, like, any person that's providing different types of logistics or construction, each person's volunteer program has been specifically designed to something that they provide as a service. So instead of us telling you how awesome they are, you're going to see it firsthand.
Awesome. And then
that's the methodology behind the Tech Horizon Demo Center Day. So probably the most innovative and cool thing that I am really excited about, and I have to give the vision and the thought process behind this to Miss Lily Milner from Build It Up. It was actually a group of me, her, Guy Timberlake from the ASBC, and Angela, our media marketing director, sitting around talking about a grant that we just got. It was super tiny, but it was a workforce initiative. But we were talking about, like, how do we allow all this innovation, all these businesses that we know have the capable of being a game changer, but, like, what happens with this chicken and egg scenario? Like, it doesn't matter if you can do the work if you can't prove it. And how can you prove it if no one gives you a chance? So at this year's conference, every person that is involved, we are tracking their involvement, even tracking the difference between if they're being compensated for the services or if they're donating in kind. And we are quantifying a dollar value. And our hope is that we can develop a mechanism in order to track in-kind compensation and translate it into past performance, in order to allow businesses that truly can do this work the opportunity to be able to build the past performance over time and grow. Because our thing is we need to stop feeding the false narrative that doing business with the federal government is easy. It isn't. Because, you know, what we're doing is we're letting people think that they're a failure, but it's not. They're not a failure. No one does this on their own. No one. Anybody that tells you that they were self-made, they're full of it. We're humans. We're pack animals by nature, and we all need each other, and we all have our strengths. But if we spend all of our time struggling on the things that we're weak, we don't get to cultivate the things that we're truly meant to do. And so the Demo Center Day is to give a platform to members of our organization, the small businesses that have come up with these innovative ideas, an opportunity to demo in front of key stakeholders for free. We're not charging them. Now, we have not marketed this a lot, but that's done intentionally because we want to support the businesses that have been supporting us. The thing is at the end of the day, loyalty is dependent on organizations like ours. We're a nonprofit. We don't receive federal funding. That's also probably the reason why I'm so honest in all of my communications, because it's not that these people don't care. It's that there's the biggest barrier to the GovCon community and the small business community. The biggest barrier is actually the acquisition process. The rules and regulations that were created in order to create a fair market are exactly what is creating so much of like hoops and like a roller coaster that we spend our time and energy working to meet a goal rather than to fulfill the mission. So like, what does it matter? What does it matter if everything, the strategy we're doing, that we've forgotten, lost sight of why these programs were created in the first place? So throughout the conference, you're going to see different things where we interweave our legislative priorities. Each of our panel discussions is being hosted by a key member of our board of directors in order to make sure that the message is coming through, because sometimes we have a hard time seeing what's right in front of us. And if we're so focused on the trees, Sometimes we miss the forest in the background.
Yeah, no, I mean this is great information, and again, my apologies for the audio issues that occurred on this. I've fortunately been able to work them out, so we're going to be getting better on that. Yes. So for those who haven't bought their tickets yet, like I know some people may think, well, I'm not a HUBZone member or something, but you don't have to be a HUBZone member to join the conference, right? You don't have to be a member to see value in this.
Absolutely not. So the thing is the conference is supposed to figure out, like, there's a lot of great organizations out there, and I'm constantly asked, like, well, why the council? Well, with any nonprofit, you get out what you put in. And I can't make promises to anybody that, coming to an event will be a game changer. You have to do your own homework. And I'm not going to lie to people. Our conference is not an entry-level event. If you're coming here to figure out what the HUBZone program is, or if RevCon's right for you, this isn't the right conference for you. This event is really focused. It's a strategy summit. I've been very clear with all of our speakers. Listen, I know there's a lot of problems, but we are talking about solutions. We have had enough discussions about talking about the barriers to small business. I'm pretty sure we know the barriers. Now it's time for us to focus our time and energy on effective solutions. And the best way to do that is to work as a team. Unfortunately, like, a lot of times we don't communicate in this day and age. In the digital age, like, people struggle to hold a conversation, which is very different for me because I struggle to shut up. So I no laugh. I thought that was funny.
No, we do appreciate it.
So, but the thing is that everyone is different. And at this year's event, I don't want it to be a Democratic or Republican thing. Like, it's not a us versus them. It's not women-owned versus veteran-owned. We are collective individuals working together for a brighter future for us all. The thing is when I had our government taught to me when I was a kid, it was, hey, Democrats believe in a larger middle class and, a larger government. And Republicans believe in more small business. And when I was growing up, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Larger middle class. But I saw the trajectory wasn't leaning that way and that it had to be shifted. So by default, I would say, oh, I'm a Republican. But by that standard, all of this other stuff that's happening in between, what happened? 80% of our policies should be bipartisan. And it shouldn't be an us versus them. And at this year's event, that's what we're going to try to show you. We're strategic partners with Women Impacting Public Policy, National Veteran Small Business Coalition, Society of American Military Engineers, National 8A Association, and the list goes on. The thing is that we're not fighting each other. And these organizations, each one of these programs has a great intent. The HUBZone program is a jobs program that is meant to facilitate educated individuals to relocate their companies and invest. Because you know what actually makes the HUBZone program work the best? Is when the owner lives in a HUBZone. Because you know what? You give back.
Yeah. So last thing I want to talk about is the golf outing. Now, I am horrible at golf. How do you sign up? Yeah. Okay. So how do you, the golf tournament here is Monday the 22nd, right?
Absolutely. And we do still have some openings, but I really need, if anybody wants to golf, I need you to register in the next couple days because I got to get final head counts. Now, the golf outing is a great icebreaker. We have tea time at 1 because I don't know you crazy people that like to get up for an 8 a.m. tea time. It's not great. However, I know it's going to be warm, but I planned for that. I got you guys cooling towels and, have bottled water and little miniature fans making you feel all special. But with the golf outing, you can register. If you go to the HUBZone Council website and you go to events, you'll see the golf outing, the conference. There's direct links that'll take you to the information and it'll pop you right through. So I do hope that if you do want to golf, we have a great time every year. We usually have a lot of fun and there's great food. So there is a reception that's following the golf outing, 18 rounds. It's at the Westfields Golf Club, which is like a PGA level golf club. Like every time people go there, they're like, this is beautiful. Every one of my family golfs except for me. So they love it. And me, I'm like a scene from Happy Gilmore.
So I was dishonest. I know you wanted to show off some tie-dye swag.
So one of the things that we're really focusing on trying to reduce our impact. Like the thing is that as a nonprofit, the council, we try to make every dollar count. And every year they see us running around. They're like, why don't you hire people for that? I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. Because I'm obviously enjoying this. So thankfully, people took mercy on me this year and was like, hey, how can we help? And I never had an infrastructure in place. But I really think it's important to show appreciation to those that have supported you, even if you don't have a budget. Sometimes it's just those small little gestures, but they mean so much to me and my team. Because the council, we really are. We're not. You guys aren't just members. The people that are these companies, everybody that's on this committee, they're all members, but they're extension of our family. So we had found these really old school shirts that are from when the council, like far before my time. But the tagline of HUBZone Works for America came from Mark Crowley, who was the former executive director. But these shirts were kind of dated. And I was like, well, I really love tie-dye. So it was kind of my way of saying, like, repurposing the old and new. Like, we tend to be very wasteful this day and age. And like, you know, sometimes it's better to go back in times. It's like, how can we do more with less, reduce our carbon footprint, but still show people that we care? And this is what I came up with, because I'm pretty sure people don't want a bunch of random tchotchkes from me. So, and I know I have that in the background, don't you?
No, that's right. And there was one other thing, a wine thing that you wanted to show off?
Oh, so I just wanted to let you guys know. So for everybody out there that has been emailing me or calling me, I want to apologize, because every fiber in my being, because I come from customer service background. So not responding to phone calls and emails just literally gives me a hive. So sometimes I can't even look at it because I feel so rude. So if you're one of those people that has not been able to get a hold of me, again, I'm so sorry. But as you can see, we have a lot going on. And I knew that the best way for me to support you is to get this taken care of. So again, I apologize. But one of the things I wanted to say is a super cool thing that is coming out. And this is the HUBZone After Dark. Basically, it is going to be an after hours, I don't want to say nightclub, but kind of that way. We'll have a DJ, we'll have dancing, and it'll create an opportunity for individuals to connect on a different level. Because that's what it is. People all communicate differently, and we find our people in different ways. So that's why at the conference, we have golf outings, we have workshops, we have matchmaking, we have networking receptions, we have roundtables. All of this is because everyone responds to things differently. So we want to make sure that there's an environment for everyone to retain the information. So with the After Dark and everything like that, we're going to be doing giveaways. Our partners at Neo Systems have donated the money for the DJ. So we'll be dancing the night away. It'll be pretty fun. And it's going to be for those people that are staying on site, because obviously we don't want to incentivize drinking and driving, but we are going to be having some outside members of the community to show. These are meant to be networking receptions, to be able to connect, find those partners, talk to the other smalls. But it's going to be really excited, but we're going to be giving away giveaways. And what I was thinking, because I was super stressed out because my kids were not sleeping and I was exhausted. And I literally, before I got on this call, I was showing Derek and I was like, he goes, how's it going? I'm like, it's 12 o'clock and I already poured a glass of wine. That's how it's going. But I also wanted, because I never got to do this post. The HUBZone Council members, like I said, are not just, you guys mean a lot more to me. And when you suffer and when you're struggling, like I can't turn it off. Like I can't just say that's not my problem. I'm not built that way and I don't want to change and I'm not going to. But I know around like Christmas time, like Hurricane Aerospace Solutions is one of our members. They're a HUBZone, obviously, aerospace company. I feel like it's kind of in the name, but they're an amazing company. And it was super cool because you don't think about it. Like you see this and it looks like a wine bottle. And I had brought wine in and I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I remember this nifty little thing that they sent. And I was like, this thing is so cool. But thank you guys so much. But if any of our members want an opportunity just to get a little boost of exposure and you want to donate items that can give away at the prize wheel, I welcome it. The whole point of the HUBZone conference is to provide our HUBZone community with the resources they need to succeed. And our objective is to try to figure out and amplify and support you as best we can.
Awesome. So we're at time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're going to be on at 12:30. You can pop any questions in the chat. We'll try to answer them. Any questions you may have about the conference coming up. So this is HUBZone in session. Any final words, Miss Michelle?
I just really look forward to seeing everybody and can't wait. So I'm going to be coming into the area soon. And I apologize again. We are working around the clock. My office looked like a bomb went off. So I just want to apologize. Please email events@hubzonecouncil.org. And again, events with an S, because I forgot that one time, at hubzonecouncil.org. If you have to make any changes, for those that are registered, if you need to change or reassign your ticket, your original invoice, you can go log back in and update that receipt. But I still ask that you do send the email to events@hubzonecouncil.org just so we can track, because again, we have two different systems. One's for the badge printing and one is for the centralized system. I realize that might be confusing and it's redundant, but there is a method to my madness. So I apologize in advance for the confusion. But again, we're not trying to do how everybody else does things. We're trying to find a new way to see if it works better.
Awesome.
Might not, but at least we'll try.
We will see.